Hi everybody, David here from Mortgage Choice. Well, it's a very quick update this month. We have heard from the RBA and the cash rate is on hold again at 4.35%. So again, great news for mortgage holders that there aren't going to be any more increases to their repayments each month. So very quick update, as I said. I just want to run through a couple of headline topics that we're seeing in the market at the moment. So let's get right into it. As I said, we've got cash rate left on hold at 4.35%. What the RBA did mention is that we're expecting inflation to hit its target range of 2 to 3% by 25 to mid 26 now. So that date just gets pushed further and further out as we go along, and they are just kind of they're very uncertain about what will happen in future, and so they're taking every precaution not to increase rates, but they will obviously do so if they need to. So holding steady for now, letting some of those past decisions catch up, and then they can make a further decision in future if they need to give it a bit more of a kick and bring that inflation rate down, if we're not hitting that target of 25, 26 at this point. So no change from last month, really. In terms of what we're seeing in the market, I just want to focus on first home buyers and upgraders for the moment. First home buyers, we're in June, and that means that the government scheme that essentially gets you into a property without mortgage insurance, that scheme ends on the 30th of June. There will be new places available 1st of July, but you need to apply for the scheme under that date, under that financial year. And the tricky part with that is that to apply for the scheme, you need to have completed your tax return and have it assessed by the ATO, which means you would need to lodge July 1 or as close to that as you can, have the ATO assess, send you the notice of assessment, and then you can obtain your seat for this first home guarantee. So bit of an interesting time right now, especially if we've only got a few weeks left before the end of the financial year. The other point I want to mention is that it's very important to get a conveyancer to assist you with the purchase and to review contracts before you make an offer on a property. Not many people, especially first home buyers, know what a conveyancer is, so please reach out. I'm more than happy to recommend you to some great people that we know, and they can help talk about the buying process and what to look for in a contract when you are making an offer. In terms of upgraders, we're still seeing quite a bit of bridging finance, which makes sense. There's not as much stock in the market, and so clients are hesitant to sell before they know where they can move. It makes sense. But bridging finance is quite expensive, and the longer you've got that bridging period between purchasing and then selling, the more expensive it becomes. So we've been quite lucky where a lot of our clients have managed to obtain quite a small bridging period with small bridging fees, but it is something that I strongly recommend you discuss before you start looking at purchasing to make sure that the numbers are going to line up. A big requirement, for instance, is that you have 20% equity in your current property, and that accounts for buffers of 10% when you're looking to sell. So what they call a sales buffer, or a meet the market buffer of 10% of the purchase price, or sale price I should say. And there are a couple of other conditions when it comes to the repayments of bridging. So all in all, you need about 30% equity in the property at the moment before bridging would even be an option. Second part that we haven't seen as much lately, and that's why I wanted to mention it, is signing a contract subject to sale. Vendors just don't seem interested anymore to accept an offer subject to sale because it takes too long for their purchaser to then sell the property and proceed with their sale, with the purchase. So I'm not seeing that very often. By all means, if you are looking to make an offer subject to sale, feel free. Speak to me about numbers first, obviously, but feel free to add that as a condition. What we're finding though is that vendors just aren't as interested. You're very likely to have that offer rejected. So it's best to speak about options first. Is subject to sale your only option, and then it needs to stay as a condition, or can we consider bridging finance or some other means of meeting settlement without that condition in your offer? So again, as I said, just a very quick update this month. Interest rates are very the same really as last month. We're looking at owner occupied rates as low as 5.94 and investor rates as low as 6.14. That is variable, and we're looking at an LVR around 50%, so loan to value ratio of about 50%. A good rate these days is somewhere between 6 and 6.2, so these are on the sharp end. That's for owner occupied. The other 2 points that I've got here are about refinance rebates and changes to tax calculations. So the refinance rebates are all but dead. There are a couple of lenders still offering them, but that's it. So very unlikely to obtain a refinance rebate these days, which means that you have to very carefully consider the cost of moving compared to how much savings you will have after that move. Is it actually worth it from an interest point of view, a fee point of view, and then obviously from a cash flow point of view with that repayment amount? The changes to tax calculations, we all know that they're coming this financial year. There'll be some tax breaks for everybody. Those cuts are being put into the lender calculators as we speak. So this is the 18th of June, and they are being put into multiple calculators now towards the end of the financial year, ready for next financial year. And what that means is that borrowing capacity will increase because you have more net income, more income after tax to put towards living expenses and towards mortgage repayments. So glad to see that the lenders are jumping right onto that change in the calculator. That's all I've got for this month. So please reach out if you have any questions, and I look forward to speaking soon.